If you're a woman over 40 and you've been fasting for months, maybe even years, but it suddenly feels like it's stopped working, this is for you. You're eating clean, you're trying to stay consistent, but your body just isn't responding the way it used to. The scale won't budge, your energy dips mid-afternoon, your mood swings more than you'd like, and you start to wonder, what changed? Let me tell you, nothing's wrong with you. Your body isn't broken. What's changed is your Tsar's hormones, and they're rewriting the rules of fasting. Because here's the truth. Fasting isn't one size fits all, especially not after 40. Once estrogen and progesterone start to fluctuate and your thyroid becomes more sensitive, the same fasting window that once helped you burn fat might now be as stressing your body out. Most fasting advice out there. Built for men. It's built on studies done on young, lean male bodies with stable hormones. But women over 40, we are cyclical, rhythmic, ever-changing. Our hormones shift week to week. And when we learn to fast with those rhythms, that's when the magic happens. That's when fasting becomes effortless again. When fat starts to melt, energy stabilizes and moods lift. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, how to tailor fasting to your hormones so you can finally work with your biology, not against it. Whether you're still cycling or in menopause, I'll help you understand when to fast, how long to fast, and when not to fast, so your body feels supported, not depleted. Comment below if you've ever felt like fasting just stopped working for you. I want to know where you're getting stuck. Once you hit your 40s, something subtle but powerful starts happening inside your body. Your hormones begin to shift. Estrogen, progesterone, and even thyroid hormones start to dance to a slower rhythm. What used to feel easy, skipping a meal, doing a 16-hour fast, might now leave you tired, irritable, or even gaining weight. And it's not because fasting doesn't work. It's because your hormonal landscape has changed and fasting needs to change with it. Think of your hormones as your body's GPS system. Through your 20s and 30s, that GPS has a strong, clear signal. It knows where to go. But after 40, that signal starts to fade. Estrogen, which once helped your cells stay sensitive to insulin and kept your metabolism humming, starts to decline. Progesterone, your calming, balancing hormone, begins to fluctuate, and your thyroid, the driver of metabolism, starts to slow down a little. The result, your body gets a little confused. It's not sure when to burn fat and when to store it. That's why you might be fasting the same way you always have, but no longer seeing results. Now, here's where fasting can be incredibly healing if you do it with your hormones, not against them. When done right, fasting can help recalibrate that fading GPS signal. It can re-sensitize your cells to insulin, stabilize your blood sugar, and support the delicate balance between estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol. But when done wrong, when it's too long, too frequent, or too intense, it can push your body further into stress. That's when women start experiencing hair loss, sleep issues, anxiety, or that frustrating weight plateau. Most fasting plans out there don't talk about this. They're designed around the male hormonal rhythm, which resets every 24 hours. Men can fast aggressively day after day because their testosterone and cortisol follow a predictable daily cycle. Women, especially over 40, operate on a 28-day rhythm, or after menopause, a rhythm that's more influenced by light sleep and stress than by a monthly cycle. When we ignore that rhythm, our fasting stops working. This is what I call your metabolic rhythm, the dance between your hormones, metabolism, and energy. Estrogen thrives on metabolic flexibility. It loves short, strategic fasts. Progesterone, on the other hand, prefers nourishment and rest. And cortisol, your stress hormone, needs consistency and safety. So when you fast with these rhythms in mind, something beautiful happens. Your insulin levels start to balance. Your thyroid feels supported, and your metabolism finally relaxes enough to start burning fat again. Let's bring in some science here, because I know you love understanding the why. After 40, your cells often become more resistant to insulin. That means glucose stays higher in your blood and your body stores more fat, especially around your belly. Fasting, when done gently and rhythmically, gives your body time to lower insulin, allowing fat burning to kick back in. Your cortisol, however, plays a big role here. If your fasting window is too long, especially in a high stress season, cortisol rises, glucose rises, and you're right back in fat storage mode. That's why balance, not intensity, is your key to success now. You don't have to fast harder. You have to fast smarter. The goal isn't to push your body into submission, but to teach it to trust you again, to show it that you understand its new rhythm and that you're willing to flow with it instead of fighting against it. So when you start to see changes in your fasting results, when it feels like the old ways just aren't working, know this: your body isn't broken. It's communicating. It's asking you to listen, to adapt, and to partner with it differently. You're not starting over. You're just moving into a more intelligent phase of fasting, one that honors the woman you've become. Have you noticed your fasting results changing as you've aged? Let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear what your body's been telling you. When it comes to fasting as a woman, timing is everything. Your hormones are on a monthly rhythm, not a daily one. That means the way you fast should shift as your hormones shift. This is what I call as fasting by hormone face. And it's the secret to making fasting feel powerful, not punishing. Let's start at the beginning of your cycle. Day 1 to day 10, what we call the follicular phase. During this time, estrogen is beginning to rise and your body becomes more insulin sensitive. That's your sweet spot for shorter, consistent fasts, somewhere between 13 to 15 hours. Think of this as your reset phase. Estrogen loves fasting because it helps lower insulin, clear out old cells, and spark fat burning. You'll likely notice that your energy feels higher and your focus sharper during this phase. So lean into that, do your workouts, try new fasting windows, and feel confident knowing your hormones are working with you. Then we move into day 11 to day 19 ovulation. This is when estrogen peaks and testosterone rises slightly. Your body is primed to build muscle, recover faster, and feel vibrant. Here, moderate fasts of about 15 to 17 hours can be ideal. But this is also the time to pay attention to protein. Your body needs amino acids to support muscle strength and balance out that surge of hormones. Think of this as your power phase. You can handle slightly longer fasts, but don't forget to nourish deeply when you break them. Add in healthy fats, clean proteins, and colorful vegetables to stabilize insulin and feed your mitochondria, your body's energy factories. Now, after ovulation, everything starts to shift again. From day 20 to day 28, the luteal phase, progesterone takes the lead. She's your calming, grounding hormone, but she's also sensitive. Progesterone doesn't thrive under stress, and long fasting windows create internal stress. This is where most women push too hard and end up with anxiety, bloating, sleep issues, or cravings. During this phase, I want you to ease up. Do shorter fasts, around 12 to 14 hours, or even take fasting breaks altogether a few days before your period. Focus on nourishment, rest, and recovery. Think of it as your body's restore phase. When you respect this slowdown, your thyroid stays balanced, your cortisol stays calm, and your metabolism stays flexible. Now, here's the science behind why this rhythm works. Fasting is a stressor, a good one when used wisely, but a stressor nonetheless. Every time you fast, your cortisol rises a little to mobilize energy. That's not a problem when estrogen is high, because estrogen buffers cortisol beautifully. But when progesterone is dominant, that buffer weakens. Over-fasting during this time can spike cortisol too high, which then elevates blood sugar and actually stops fat loss. It's your body's way of saying, I don't feel safe right now. But cycling your fasting windows, shorter in the luteal phase, longer in the follicular. You're syncing with your biology instead of fighting it. This keeps cortisol balanced, supports thyroid health, and prevents the burnout or fasting fatigue so many women feel. When you do this consistently, something amazing happens. Fasting starts to feel easy again. Your energy rises naturally. Your cravings stabilize and your mood evens out. It's like your metabolism finally exhales. For my women in perimenopause or menopause, you can still follow this rhythm, but instead of tracking your cycle days, track your symptoms. Notice your energy, sleep, mood, and hunger. When you feel calm, strong, and focused, that's your body's signal to lean into fasting. When you feel anxious, tired, or moody, that's your cue to back off and nourish. The principle is the same. Honor your body's rhythm. Do you track your cycle while fasting? Tell me your biggest win or challenge. I'd love to see your patterns and help you fine-tune your rhythm. If your cycle has stopped, whether you're in perimenopause or full menopause, please hear this. You are not broken. You're simply in a new hormonal season, and that season comes with a different rhythm. Your body hasn't stopped working. It's just asking to be understood in a new way. During perimenopause, estrogen becomes unpredictable. Some days it's high, giving you energy, confidence, and that spark you remember. And other days it drops suddenly, leaving you foggy, bloated, or emotional. Progesterone begins to decline too, which means less calm and more cortisol sensitivity. Then once you move into menopause, estrogen settles at a lower baseline. That drop shifts how your body manages insulin and fat. Suddenly, what used to work, your favorite fasting window, your go-to workouts, may not deliver the same results. And that's okay. You're not losing your magic, you're just recalibrating it. Here's how we do that. We move from cyclical fasting to what I call as pattern fasting. Instead of matching your fast to a menstrual cycle, you'll match them to your energy and stress levels. Think of it like waves. Fasting waves and nourishment waves. For most women in this phase, 2 to 3 fasting days per week, around 16 to 18 hours works beautifully. On alternate days, you'll have what I call refeed days, shorter fasts or no fast at all. These days aren't cheat days. They're healing days. They tell your thyroid, adrenals, and nervous system, you're safe. That balance between fasting and refeeding keeps your metabolism responsive instead of reactive. Now let's talk about your thyroid and adrenals because they are your metabolic gatekeepers after 40. Your thyroid drives your metabolism and your adrenals regulate cortisol. When estrogen drops, both of these systems become more sensitive. That means chronic fasting, long cardio, or skipping too many meals can actually slow your metabolism instead of speeding it up. The fix isn't to stop fasting, it's to fast a smarter, add in gentle carb cycling. On your refeed days, Bring back healthy carbs like sweet potatoes, squash berries, or quinoa. Those foods give your thyroid the glucose it needs to keep producing energy and protect your metabolism. They also calm cortisol and help you sleep better. Pair that with deep hydration, electrolytes, minerals, and clean water, because as estrogen drops, you lose your ability to hold water efficiently. Most women think their fatigue is from hormones, when really it's dehydration and mineral loss. And here's the piece that transforms everything. Strength training dives fasting lowers insulin, and strength training builds muscle, which keeps insulin low even longer. Together, they're your post-40 fat burning duo. The goal isn't to burn calories, it's to build metabolic tissue. Muscle is your hormone sponge. It helps your body use glucose efficiently, balance estrogen, and keep you strong for decades to come. So on fasting days, pair your fast with resistance training or bodyweight workouts. On refeed days, focus on recovery, stretching, and sleep. That's the new rhythm. Now, I want to speak to your mindset, because this stage of life isn't about restriction or chasing the old version of your body. It's about collaboration. This is your time to work smarter, not harder. You've earned the right to slow down, tune in, and let your wisdom lead. Fasting after 40 is no longer about deprivation. It's about hormonal harmony. You're teaching your body to feel safe enough to burn fat again, to sleep deeply again, to feel powerful again. When you give your body rhythm, fasting and refeeding, work and rest, you rebuild trust. Your body starts to say, she gets me now. And that's when everything shifts. You'll notice your belly starts to lean out, your energy stabilizes, and your cravings quiet down. It's not a miracle, it's biology working with you. Ladies in menopause, I want to hear from you. Comment your age and tell me what fasting window feels best for you right now. Let's crowdsource real results and remind every woman watching that this next chapter can be your strongest one yet. Let's talk about the science behind why fasting works and why sometimes, when pushed too hard, it can backfire. Your hormones and metabolism are in constant communication. They're not separate systems, they're a team. When that team is balanced, fasting becomes effortless. But when one player, like insulin, thyroid, or cortisol, gets out of sync, everything starts to feel harder. Let's start with insulin, because she's the star of the fat burning show. Insulin's job is to move glucose out of your bloodstream and into your cells for energy. But when insulin is high all the time, from snacking, stress, or poor sleep, your cells stop responding. That's called insulin resistance. And it's one of the main reasons fat loss stalls after 40. Fasting helps by lowering insulin and giving your cells time to reset. Even a simple 13 to 16-hour fast can restore insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation. Think of it like giving your metabolism a breath of fresh air. But here's the nuance. You don't want to push it too far. Over-fasting, especially longer daily fasts without refeed days, can stress your thyroid and slow your metabolism. Your thyroid is like your body's thermostat. When you fast in healthy cycles, you're gently turning up the heat, helping your body burn stored fat. But if you fast too long or too often, that thermostat can blow a fuse. Your body senses scarcity and slows things down to protect you. That's when women start feeling cold, tired, and stuck. This is where balance comes in. You want your fasting windows to be stimulating, not suppress. Shorter, regular fasts, paired with nutrient-rich meals, keep your thyroid humming and your energy stable. When you break your fast, focus on mineral-rich meals, magnesium, potassium, sodium, zinc, because these minerals are cofactors for hormone production. They help your thyroid convert T4 to the active T3 hormone, which drives metabolism. Add in clean proteins like eggs, salmon, or grass-fed meat, and don't fear healthy fats. Avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds. These nourish your hormones and stabilize your blood sugar so insulin doesn't spike right back up. Now let's talk about the quiet influencer. Ask cortisol. Cortisol gets a bad reputation, but you actually need it. It helps you wake up, burn fat, and manage inflammation. The problem isn't cortisol itself. It's chronically high cortisol that derails your progress. When stress is constant, from lack of sleep, over fasting, or emotional pressure, cortisol tells your body, we're in danger. In that state, your body holds on to fat for protection and releases more glucose into your blood, keeping insulin high again. So if insulin and cortisol are constantly competing, you'll never unlock full fat burning mode. The fix isn't to fast harder, it's to calm your body down. Sleep is your cortisol reset button. Light movement, walking, stretching, yoga brings cortisol down gently while supporting thyroid function. And simple breath work. That's one of the fastest ways to lower cortisol in real time. Even 3 deep breaths before you eat can shift your body from stress mode to fat burning mode. Think of your metabolism as a thermostat in your house. Fasting is like turning the heat up. It activates fat burning. But if you add too much stress, not enough sleep, too much fasting, too little nourishment, that circuit overheats and blows the fuse. Then your body shuts down fat burning altogether. The goal is to keep the system humming, not too hot, not too cold. So when you fast with awareness, watching your energy, your sleep, your mood, you start to master that thermostat. You learn when to dial up the fasting and when to back off and refuel. That's what I mean by fasting smarter. Because the goal isn't intensity, it's high hormonal intelligence. When you get insulin, thyroid, and cortisol in sync, your body starts working for you again. You'll notice your cravings fade, your belly tightens, and your energy becomes steady all day long. That's the sweet spot where fasting becomes freedom, not force. Which hormone do you think is your biggest roadblock? Insulin, cortisol, or thyroid? Comment below. I want to see where you're feeling stuck so we can unlock it together. Fasting alone can change your body, but when you pair it with the right lifestyle, it transforms your entire biology. This is what I call the fasting lifestyle triangulate. The three pillars that keep your hormones and metabolism working together: nutrition, movement, and recovery. When all three are in balance, fasting becomes not just a practice, but a way of living that feels energizing, sustainable, and deeply aligned with your body. Let's start with nutrition. After 40, your body craves clean, unprocessed foods that stabilize blood sugar and feed your mitochondria, your energy factories. The way you break your fast is just as important as the fast itself. Always think protein first, fiber second. Protein triggers satiety hormones and supports lean muscle, while fiber slows glucose release and feeds your gut microbiome. Together, they keep insulin low and energy high. A perfect break fast meal could be something like a veggie omelet cooked in olive oil or salmon with greens and avocado. Avoid breaking your fast with fruit juices, refined carbs, or processed snacks. Those spike insulin and undo your fasting benefits. And don't underestimate the power of some minerals. As estrogen declines, your body loses more sodium, magnesium, and potassium, which means you dehydrate faster. Low minerals can cause fatigue, headaches, and even fasting crashes. So drink plenty of water and add electrolytes, especially during longer fasts. A pinch of sea salt in your water or a sugar-free electrolyte packet can make a huge difference. And magnesium, I call it the hormone whisperer, helps calm cortisol, relax muscles, and improve sleep. Next, let's talk of movement. Fasting and movement are best friends. When you move in a fasted state, even something as simple as a brisk walk, you tap into stored fat for fuel. That's how you amplify the fat burning benefits of fasting. For women over 40, I recommend alternating between walking and strength training. Walking balances cortisol and clears glucose, while strength training builds muscle, which is the most metabolically active tissue in your body. Think of muscle as your hormone bank account. The more you have, the better your body manages insulin, estrogen, and thyroid hormones. A realistic rhythm might look like Friday, 16-hour fast morning strength workout. I'd ask Tuesday, Thursday, a 40-hour fast walk or yoga. Weekend, shorter fasts or refeed days with nourishing carbs and rest. That's what a balanced week might look like. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. Your hormones thrive on rhythm. Now, here's the most underestimated piece of sleep and recovery. You can't out-fast poor sleep. During sleep, your body resets cortisol, repairs thyroid function, and restores growth hormone, all essential for fat burning and longevity. When you shortchange your sleep, your cortisol rises, insulin spikes, and fasting feels harder. Aim for 78 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep. Create a simple nighttime ritual, dim lights, no screens, and maybe a cup of magnesium tea. Your hormones will thank you. Recovery also means rest from fasting itself. Some days your body will ask for nourishment, not restriction. Listen, flexibility is part of the plan. You're not failing if you shorten your fast. You're listening to your body. That's the essence of hormone intelligence. The goal is not to dominate your biology, but to dance with it. When you combine these three, clean nutrition, smart movement, and restorative recovery, your fasting results multiply. You start to feel lighter, calmer, clearer. Your skin glows, your sleep deepens, and your body begins to trust you again. That's when fasting stops being something you would do and becomes something they are. So take a moment to imagine your rhythm of waking up hydrated and clear, moving your body with intention, breaking your fast with foods that make you feel alive, and ending your day with peace. That's the fasting lifestyle. Steady, powerful, sustainable. If you've already built your own fasting lifestyle, I want to hear from you. Share one daily ritual that's helped you stay consistent. Because when women share their rhythms, we all get stronger together. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling calm, focused, and light, not because you changed everything overnight, but because you finally understand how to work with your body instead of against it. You open your eyes and feel steady energy, not that familiar crash or fog. You move through your morning with clarity, confidence, and ease, because your hormones and metabolism are no longer fighting you. They're finally in sync. This is the power of hormone-informed fasting. It's not about restriction. It's not about willpower. It's about connection. When you learn to fast in harmony with your hormones, something profound happens. You stop chasing results and your body starts leading you there naturally. Your fat loss becomes sustainable, your mood evens out, and your mind feels sharp again. You feel safe in your own body, maybe for the first time in years. I know many of you were taught that the only way to get results is to push harder, eat less, or suffer through the process. We've been told that discipline equals deprivation. But that old model doesn't work. especially for women over 40. Your body doesn't respond to punishment, it responds to rhythm. You don't need to fight your hormones, you need to flow with them. That's the real transformation, shifting from control to collaboration. Instead of waking up wondering, what's wrong with me? You start to ask, what's my body trying to tell me today? Some days it might say, let's fast longer. Other days, let's rest and refuel. That awareness is what builds metabolic freedom. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we've talked about your fasting rhythm matters. Shorter fasts during progesterone dominant phases, longer fasts when estrogen rises. Rest and refeed days when your body needs nourishment. Movement that builds strength, not exhaustion. Food that nourishes your hormones, not spikes your insulin. Sleep that resets cortisol and renews your energy. Hydration and minerals that keep your metabolism thriving. And above all, compassion. Because healing your metabolism isn't a sprint, it's a rhythm. When you bring these pieces together, fasting rhythm, hormone awareness, nourishment, rest, you create a body that trusts you again. You create stability in a stage of life that's often marked by chaos. And once your body feels safe, it begins to release weight naturally. Your brain sharpens, your energy returns, your mood stabilizes, and you start to feel like you again, strong, grounded, unstoppable. So here's my invitation to you. Stop seeing your hormones as a problem to fix. They're not your enemy, they're your superpower. They are your body's communication system, your built-in guidance map. When you learn to listen to them and use fasting as a way to bring them back online, everything changes. You become metabolically flexible, emotionally balanced, and deeply empowered. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to think smarter. You don't need to shrink yourself. You need to support yourself. And that starts with honoring the woman you are today, not trying to get back to who you were 10 years ago. So take this as your reminder. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every time you choose to fast with intention, move with purpose, and rest without guilt, you are teaching your body that it's safe to heal. You're writing a new story, one where balance replaces burnout and nourishment replaces punishment. You're not at war with your hormones. They're your superpower. Let's use fasting to bring them back online together. Comment below and tell me your biggest aha moment from today, and tag a friend who needs to hear this message. Because when women rise in knowledge, we all rise in power. And if you're ready to take this to the next step, don't miss my next video, where I'll show you the top 5 foods to eat after fasting to support your hormones, balance your blood sugar, and keep your metabolism thriving.